In this session, we'll showcase ShareFile's intuitive and powerful features for data and document collection within projects. You'll learn how to streamline your workflow using document request lists, information requests, granular permissions, AI-driven tools, templates, and signature sign-offs, all designed to simplify and enhance your data collection process. For our first demo, we'll demonstrate how to set up a project to onboard a new construction worker at Acme Corporation. Acting as an HR representative, I'll collect the necessary onboarding documents and information for the new hire. We'll create a document request list, submit an information request, and assign a task to the new hire. We'll review the process from the new hire's perspective to show how ShareFile's branded client portal and AI tools make submitting the correct documents simple and seamless. Ashley will then bring us home with a slightly different use case for Acme Construction, highlighting even more features, including communication within the project, storage, and electronic signatures to complete any onboarding workflows. All right, so let's get started. We're going to go ahead and build out a onboarding project for the new employee. So here I'm at the Acme Corporation ShareFile. I'm going to navigate into projects. And go to create project at the top right. Now we have two options here. We have blank project and from template. So from template, if you've already built one out and you templatize it, you can create a project directly from that template, saving you time and effort. For today's demonstration, we're going to go through that process of building a project. So we'll do blank. We'll go ahead and give it a name, onboarding for Greg. You can put an optional description, and you can also select the storage zone to save this project to. So if you have an on-premise storage zone or you have alternate ShareFile managed storage zones, you can select the appropriate one here. I'll go ahead and create project. So we're brought into the project dashboard, and this is going to be similar to the ShareFile dashboard. You have some information panes here, and those will highlight any requests that have been generated, any tasks or to-dos, any recent comments that have come in, and any files that have been uploaded or attached to this project. Up at the top here, you do have your tabs for each section of the project. So requests is going to include any of the information requests, the document request lists, or the signature requests. To-dos will have any to-dos or tasks that you need to have completed. Files is going to show up here, and then any comments as well. So to create a document request list, we'll go into the request tab. We'll create request, and we have three different options here. So we have a document request list, we have an information request, which is going to be a web form, and we also have a signature request to have a document signed off on. So we'll go ahead and create a document request, and you can create one from blank manually. You can also create from a template similar to the whole project itself. And you can also create with a new AI feature. So we're going to test that out here. So we'll give it a name. We're going to say onboarding documents. We'll give it a due date. Now the industry is important here because it's going to tailor the results to your specific industry. So we'll keep it on construction. I've already gone ahead and used this before, so I selected that I am a human resources consultant. Again, it's just going to tailor the results to your particular role with the organization and the industry. And I've remembered that information, that's why it stayed there. And then in the prompt, we'll go ahead and put something simple like collect documents to onboard a new construction worker. And we'll go ahead and see what the prompt generates for us. So here we have a list of 11 items that the prompt has given us. If you like this list, you can simply create a request. You can modify it later. If you don't want an item included on here, you can simply uncheck it here. And again, we can modify this list later on. Any of the titles or descriptions here that the AI prompt has given us can be modified later. If you want to help future results, you can give it a thumbs up or thumbs down, or you can simply start over with the button here. So reviewing this list, I've unselected 2 options here that won't be included, and we'll go ahead and create request. This is a great spot to start if maybe you already have a list of documents that are required for your organization, or maybe you just want to explore additional options, maybe some documents that you haven't thought about that the AI prompt can provide. All right, so the document request list has been generated. We'll go ahead and navigate down into it, and this is the request list editor here. Now we haven't assigned it to anyone, so we aren't waiting on anything, and there isn't anything to review, so that won't show until we actually assign the items. But this is going to give you an overview of the document request list. This will allow you to review each individual item within the list. If you want to navigate between the items, you can use the next item and previous item buttons at the top. So this will allow you, like I said earlier, to change the name, the description, the due date. If you wanted to create categories to further make it easier to navigate through, you can give them there. You can simply assign them directly to a user in there. If you need to add additional items, so let's say I need to add a OSHA form or OSHA certificate here, I can create. It's going to bring up the editor. We can give it a description, a due date, category, or assignment. So we like how that looks there. I'll close it out. If you do have a bulk list of items that you want to add to this document request list, you can simply click Import Items, download this template here, and then re-upload that template directly in to generate those additional items. So once we have the list of items that we want to collect from this user, you can assign individual items to a specific user if you have multiple users you are collecting documents from on the same document request list. But for today's demonstration, all of these pertain to the new hire. So we'll go ahead and select all 10. We'll go assign users. We'll go ahead and put the new hire's name in here to search for them. Now they've already been created in here, but if you needed to create a new client contact in here, you can, or the recommendation would be to create the employee and then assign them. Permission set, this is going to be what they can and can't do. The assignee role here can view, complete, and assign the item. If you wanted to give custom permissions, you can do that here. It's going to break down the parts of the document request and what they can and can't do. So we'll go ahead and give them an assignee. This is going to be exactly what they need to complete for us. And we'll go ahead and assign. And you can put a message there that will show up in the notification that goes to them. All right, so we'll take a look at how that looks from the new hire's perspective in a little bit. The other request we wanted to create was a information request, just to highlight the web form that can be created when you're collecting information rather than just documents themselves. So we'll go ahead and create request, and this time we'll do information requests. And again, this can be templatized once you have a information request built out, but for today's demo, we'll do a blank one. And just for the sake of time, we'll do something quick. So one thing that we're going to require from this person to provide us is some emergency contacts. We'll give it a description here if needed, and then we'll give the same due date as the documents. Now, once you create the information request, you'll be brought into the editor, and this is similar in function to our signature builder. So this is a drag and drop and kind of rearrange with drag and drop. So all we need is a couple names and phone numbers. So we'll go ahead and start by dragging a short answer. When we click on this individual line here, we can make it required. We'll say emergency contact 1. You can put in a hint and that should show up below the box if needed. The other thing that we'll need is a phone number, and we're also going to make that required. And we'll say phone number, we'll say emergency contact 1 phone number. All right, and then those two are required. Let's just go ahead and add one more, and we'll just make that not required. And then phone number, let's say all right, and just to highlight all of the different fields that you can place in here, you can do checkboxes, dates, long answer, multiple choice. You can just do a number. You can actually do a file if you want to have the end user upload a file, or currency. And you can also display text that's not an input box but just shows text. You can go through some of the settings here, the description, and a message once the information request has been completed. You can also do a preview. Once we like what we have built out, we'll go ahead and save. And we'll go ahead and close that. So you can see here now we have a document request list. We also have an information request, and we do want to go ahead and assign this to that user. We'll go ahead and do it to an individual Greg client, as that's who we're onboarding. They're going to be the assignee. You can set an expiration on that if you'd like. We'll go ahead and just keep it open. And now we have two requests, one for documents and one for information that we've sent to Greg for onboarding. And the last bit we'll want to add to this onboarding project is going to be a orientation to do for this new hire. So for that, we'll come into to-dos, go ahead and create a to-do, call it new hire orientation. You can give it a description. We'll keep the status as not started. We'll give it a due date. It'll be the Monday after the documents and the information is required. And then we'll assign it to the new hire. If you'd like to add attachments here, you can do that there. And we'll go ahead and submit. Now this is going to be in a table style here. If you need to modify any of these values, you can simply click into it, or you can click the open button to bring up the edit pane. If you need to delete the to-do, you simply click the red delete button at the top. But if you're happy with that, we can keep it there. And that will show up in the portal while the new hire is going through the document request list and the information requests as well. So now we've pretty much created for today's demonstration all of the features or the functions within this onboarding project. We've created a document request list to collect specific documents needed for onboarding. We've created an information request to collect emergency contacts. We've also created a task or to-do for the new hire orientation. So the last thing I'll show here before we switch over to the new hire's perspective within the portal, I just wanted to touch on the templates, because I mentioned earlier that you can create a project or an individual request from a template. So I wanted to highlight how to do that. So within the project space itself, you can create a template from this. So if you come up to the three dots at the project dashboard, you can click Save as Template. And this is always going to tell you when you're creating a template what will be copied and what won't be copied. And so typically what won't be copied are any of the the team members or users like end users, client users that you're inviting to the project or you have invited to the project, any comments, any files that have been uploaded. But what will be copied are the document requests without the due dates, assignees, or statuses, of course, and also the tasks with the same information removed. The one thing that you will want to take note of is the information request won't be saved, but you can templatize those same way as we're doing here. So this is the project itself that you can templatize. So if you have multiple onboardings, you can simply call this onboarding template and then maybe give it a position. All right, and we'll create template from that. And then much the same way, the individual document requests or the information requests can be templatized as well. So within the onboarding documents, if I come in here, I can go up to the three dots, save as template. Again, it's going to tell you what is copied and what's not copied. Let's say this is onboarding documents for construction worker. It would probably be good to be granular here in case there are different requirements for different roles. We'll create template. All right, so close out of that. And then just to show you, during the request creation, when we do a document request, we can create from template. And there's the onboarding documents for construction worker we just created there. So fast and efficient way to quickly bring in a document request list. Alternatively, if you wanted to templatize a information request, same thing. You come in and save as template, give it a name, and then it'll be shown under My Templates. And those templates will be found here on the left side under Templates. You can sort them or filter them by the type of requests. So here is our information request. Sorry, we didn't save the information request. We saved the document request. So we'll go document requests, and there's our onboarding documents for construction worker. Now, if you want to give other users access to that template, so let's say maybe the HR representative builds these out, and then they share them with maybe other managers to use, you can select them and you can manage access. You can share with other members of your organization. And then they would just want to, when they add a template, they would want to select the shared with me. And then any of those templates that they've been given access to will show up there. All right, so let's switch quickly over to the new hires perspective. So they have set up their account and they've logged into ShareFile. This is what they're going to see. The nice thing about this is that the client portal is going to put the required tasks and documents required front and center. So when they log in, they're going to be greeted with the open tasks section. And if they're on multiple projects, they can select them here to show only those projects. This particular user we have used for other projects within the space, so they're going to have multiple projects. We'll select the onboarding for Greg H because that's the one we've been working with. And here is our emergency contact and all of our document requests and tasks that have been assigned to this user. So let's go ahead and let's just quickly show how the response can be filled out. I've already put some information in here, just a mother and father. And the other feature I wanted to highlight here when we're going through the document upload process is the document validation feature, which ensures that the documents that are being uploaded pertain to that individual document request. So it prevents things like, like maybe a driver's license image being uploaded as a I-9 form or something like that. It just kind of saves the back and forth of reminding this person, hey, you may have missed this document or uploaded the wrong thing. The system will automatically kind of check the document to ensure that it's what you're uploading or it matches what is being requested. So in this particular demo, let me find something here. So we're going to actually go into the W4 request, and we're going to add a file that should not pertain to W4. So let me grab that here. Give me 1 second. So I'm actually going to bring in my OSHA certificate, and we're going to upload it, and we're going to see here if the analyzer understands that we've made a mistake. So you can see here that it says we think certificate of completion.pdf might be the wrong file. Please upload a new file. So that's that document analyzer. It's an AI feature. That's just going to save everyone time. I know that document request lists, they can be pretty large, and having to go back and forth to inform the user that they've uploaded the wrong document and to please re-upload the correct one can just be a huge time burden. So this will allow the user to go ahead and delete that, upload the correct file that they need, submit, and have that document request approved. So once everything has been completed, switching back real quick back to the project we built for the onboarding. So once everything has been completed, the projects page itself will show all of the projects, and this can get pretty long. You can sort and filter by the closed projects, and if you need to close a project, you can simply click the Actions button and close. Now we do have 13 unresolved tasks, so it's going to warn us that there are some things still open, but what closing the project does is it prevents anything from being modified. It puts it into read-only mode, and only the project owner or the person who created it can reopen it. So that'd be good in situations where HR needs to safe keep these documents, but maybe one of the managers needs to go back who was added to the project and access some of the files or something like that, but shouldn't have any modify access to those. Closing the project will remove it from the open status list, but it'll keep the files in read-only mode. So now I'm going to turn it over to Ashley, and Ashley's going to highlight some of the other features within the project space and take a look at a different use case. So Ashley, I'll throw it over to you.
One note before I begin, these are just examples of how you can utilize the project space. These may not specifically pertain to your vertical, but they hopefully will give you an idea of how you can use these to fit your needs. In my scenario that we're going to be going over next, I'm going to be acting as a construction company looking to work with a subcontractor. In this case, we needed to request some info, and we'll be working with that info to finish out the project. All right, let's go ahead and jump right in. First, we're going to go over to our projects. We're going to navigate to our project, and in this case, it's a bid. This bid is going to go to John Smith, and what I did on the front end was I actually logged in as John. I uploaded the documents that were requested as well as filled out the information request, and we'll kind of go through those real quick here. So if I navigate to my document request, you can see that there are, I think, six of these documents that I requested, and I assigned those to John Smith. John Smith already uploaded these documents. If I click on this first licenses and certifications, I can actually view the files. So whatever he uploaded, I can look at. Once I go ahead and look at it, I have the ability to confirm that's exactly what we were looking for. I'm going to navigate back out. Once I actually look at that document, I can then see any comments that were made on it, if he had any questions, or I can even look at the details. Once I go back to the attachments tab here, I have the ability to accept and approve, or I can send back. For now, I'm just going to approve this one. And once I approve it, it goes into the closed status and it's approved. So I can look at each one of these documents, review them, confirm they're correct, and then I can approve them. So I'm just going to go ahead and approve all of these really quickly. Also, I'm going to use one of the features that Greg talked about earlier to just navigate up and down through these. So I'm going to go ahead and approve. Then I'm going to go ahead and navigate down another. Approve. And lastly, approve. Once all of those are approved and we've reviewed, oh, sorry, I still have one more left. Let me go ahead and get that. Now that all of them are approved, I can actually close this request. And once it's closed, none of the assignees will be able to upload files. So I can also notify people on this request and close it if I so choose. In this case, I'm not going to close the request. I'm just going to cancel. And I'm going to leave them all approved but not closed. I'm going to navigate back out of here. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this information request. This is the response that John Smith filled out. As you can see, I have some questions here. He went through and filled it all out. Once that's complete, everything looks good. I can reopen it if I need, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it looks good. So looks like all of the items have been submitted. They're all approved. The contractor profile has been submitted and it's been approved. So now let me look at my to-dos. Oh, it looks like I already took care of this. I sent the bid to the subcontractor, so I'm going to change the status here to completed. I just finished reviewing all the submitted documents. And now I can create and send a contract agreement. This is something that we haven't done yet. So let's go back to our home. We can navigate to our requests. Then we can create a request, and this is where we're going to pull in our e-signature request. From here, I'm going to create it from a blank. From here, I'm going to browse files, and then I'm going to select from ShareFile. This is where you would have your form that you're going to have, or any type of document that you're going to need to get signed from the end user or the external entity. I'm just going to select a file in here. Let's see here. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and add it. And if you're familiar with e-signature, this is all going to look very familiar for you. In this case, I'm going to add John, and it's going to pull up all of the info that we need. All right, I'm going to go to next step. Looks like this is the bid proposal, but we are going to pretend this is an agreement. We are going to request a signature from the end user. We also have the ability to add initials, a date, some text boxes, even an attachment here. In this case, we're going to keep it simple. and we're going to go to the next step. From here, we are going to change the name here. All right, now we are going to say they have 7 days to sign this. We're not going to change any security options, and we're going to go ahead and send that signature request. Now that we've reviewed all the documents, we've actually looked at the information request, we want to go into a contractual agreement with this subcontractor. We just sent out that subcontractor agreement. Let's go ahead and get that submitted. All right, now I've had John Smith submit that contractor agreement. Let's refresh our page. All right, now we can see that the subcontractor agreement is closed. Let's go ahead and click on it. From here, we can review it, scroll down, and see the signature. Then we can also see the signature certificate with the associated activities. So when they opened it, when they signed it, we have the ability to download it, and then we're pretty much finished with that. There are a few things that I did want to go over that I didn't mention right away, and these are just little tidbits that are nice to have. But if we actually look at our document requests, we can see, if I select one of these, that there is a comment section. From here, we can actually make comments back and forth between you and your external entity that you're working with. You can even make comments to employees who are working with you on the project. From here, this is a in-app messaging. So none of this goes over the internet through email or anything like that. This is a good way to keep PII safe. Once you message someone, they'll get a notification and they'll be able to respond, and vice versa. So if you have any questions about a specific document, or you want to alert the end user that they uploaded the wrong document, you can obviously make a comment here, and there's a comment section on each one of these documents. Also, there is a running comments in here. So if you want to see a list of all the comments on this specific project, you can come in here. You can see who they were added by and where they were added. Also, one note on the to-dos. We think of this as kind of like a task list. You can assign these to other employees on the account who are working on this project with you. You can assign these to clients or external entities as well. Really, we just like this space because it's a great place to keep up with all the things that you need to do on the project and knock them out as a to-do. If we go back to the home section, you can see that this request is basically done. And in this case, I'm going to select these bid documents and close this out. I'm also going to notify John Smith and close request. From here, this project is pretty much completed. Like Greg said, we could go ahead and close out this project, but there are a couple other things that I wanted to show you. Instead of changing this to closed, I'm going to go back out to the project space. This is very important for if you have a lot of other projects. You do have the search option here. You can change whether you want to search for open or closed projects, and also you can sort by the name of the project, when they were created, and you can order those based on how you feel like. From here, we're going to go ahead and close out this project since it's all finished, and then we'll go to the Q&A session.